Well, hello and welcome to the big debate which started yesterday. The Convention People's Party will be having its decentralized Congress on Saturday, the 22nd of August. And as part of the build-up to that Congress, Pan-African Television and the Council of Elders of the party and the Congress Planning Committee are organizing these debates to enable the candidates express themselves, to show their vision, and to be questioned by a studio audience and by the worldwide audience on Facebook, on Twitter, and also on WhatsApp. We started the debate yesterday. Yesterday, the two contestants for the position of General Secretary were expected in the studio. Only one turned up, but nonetheless, we went ahead with the one-man debate. Today, there are four contestants for the position of National Chairman of the party, and two have turned up, and we intend to continue with that debate. Tomorrow is going to be the highlight of the big debate, and we are going to feature all three presidential aspirants of the party tomorrow. Ivor Greenstreet has confirmed his participation in the debate tomorrow. Comrade Bright Akwete has also confirmed his participation in the debate tomorrow, and the Reverend has also confirmed his participation in the debate tomorrow. But today we have two contestants for the position of National Chairman in the studio. We have Comrade Kweku Kwansa, who is a former parliamentary candidate of the Convention People's Party, and also currently is very active in the youth wing, head of finance of the youth wing of the party. He's here with us. We also have Nana Odro Kwarteng. Nana Odro Kwarteng used to be the vice chair of the Convention People's Party in the UK. He has been very active in several movements and so on. He's here with us today, and he is one of the contestants for the position of National Chairman of the party. The format is going to be a very simple format. We are going to start with Comrade Kweku Kwansa, who is going to tell us about his vision for the party, why he wants to be National Chairman of the party. That should take not more than 15 minutes, maximum of 15 minutes. Thereafter, Nana Odro Kwarteng would also give us his vision and tell us why he wants to be Chairman of the Convention People's Party. That will also be for 15 minutes. And then after the two presentations, we shall come to the studio audience and join those who are watching the program live on Facebook and those who will be sending us message through Twitter and also on WhatsApp platforms. And then we will go back to the candidates again. This time, we will start with Nana Odro Kwarteng and end with Comrade Kwansa. And then we'll continue the cycle until all the time is exhausted. Let's give a round of applause to this wonderful gentleman who wants to lead the Convention People's Party. Round of applause for them. It is now my pleasure to invite to the microphone Comrade Kweku Kwansa. Comrade, you're welcome to us.
I'd like to say good evening to my dear countrymen, fellow comrades from across the country. Indeed, it has been such a grueling process, but very fulfilling. For a young man such as myself, it is a dream come true to embark on the journey to lead a party that was founded by Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The CPP remains a treasure, an inheritance to all Ghanaians. Indeed, it is the only party that has been passed on from generations. I'm very humbled to stand here before you, contesting for the chairmanship of the CPP. To give a bit of a background, I contested in Ayawaso West Wuogon for Member of Parliament in 2016. We did a great deal of grassroots work, organizing with the people, we set up or re-established the structure of the constituency by setting up polling station branches, holding regular meetings, all the way leading to the elections. The very abysmal performance at the polls got me to do some soul searching. I think that a lot of the feedback from the ground was that even though as a candidate I was very much well liked and appreciated, they looked up at the party and perhaps saw that it was not a party that was poised for power. So you found people, luring me to the two parties in the duopoly. I stood my ground, and after 2016 embarked on the process to seek a solution to this image issue that the CPP seemed to have. This led me to speak to many members of the elders of the party, many elders of the party. In that quest, I went through the known names in the CPP. Eventually, while I was looking up to the elders of the party, they reminded us of our history. The Convention People's Party was a party formed by the youth of the UGCC who broke away to form the Convention People's Party. Indeed, Kwame Nkrumah, at the formation of the party, was 39 years old. The elders reminded me that I was worthy and capable of leading the party. I did a bit more soul searching and solicited views from the grassroots. For about a year, we've been canvassing with our delegates. But really and truly, I think that the reason why the CPP is relevant today is that the founding visions of our founder, to have a country of self-determination where we determine how we use and dispose of our national resources, how we determine how we produce. The founding visions of creating a Ghana that is not just for the rich, but serves the needs, the social needs of all people, especially the dispossessed, working class, and the poor. A country with equal access to education, improved livelihoods, a country that connects with the rest of the continent involved in the same struggles. Comrades and friends, I think these founding visions, we would say, have not been met. When I travel around the countries on our campaign, around the country on our campaign tour, I see our people wallowing in abject poverty and deprivation. It tells me that we cannot remain in a comfort zone. It tells me that with the blessings of our elders, it is up to some of us to take up the mantle, to organize, rebuild our party, restructure it, and make a real quest for political power. Indeed, in our country today, you find that very often many large sections of the youth remain neutral of the duopoly because they do not see a true way forward. They feel dispossessed and they feel outside of the system, if you will. Comrades, my campaign for chairmanship is simple. It is themed A Fresh Start for the CPP. It is a grassroots movement that looks to rebuild the party from the ground up. We have drawn up a 10-point plan, but if I had to put it into two parts, it has to do with permanent structures for the party and member welfare. Permanent structures so that the party lives within our communities rather than exists in the mainstream. Because elections take place in our community, because we as politicians stand for elections to affect the lives of our people in our community, the the party has to be well grounded within our communities. So we're looking first and foremost at permanent structures. Instead of renting offices, which has been a big challenge for the CPP, we're looking to dig foundations and put in permanent structures, office structures for the CPP. We believe that the very act of digging the ground, laying bricks, will send a signal that we are rebuilding, and it will attract the masses to take notice, to join the CPP and join in this effort. The second part of our 10-point plan has to do with membership welfare. For the CPP to make a statement that it wants to affect the lives of Ghanaians, for it to make a push for political power, we must affect the lives of our members, wherever they live. We must take an interest in the livelihoods of our members. One of the experiments we've run this year is that together with some of our members in the constituencies, we started constituency farms. I'm happy to say we've harvested our first crop in Salaga this year, and we're looking, we're growing rice in the Sefri area, and we've enlisted several other constituencies on what we're calling the Fresh Start Farms. Comrades and friends, I think that the process has taught me one thing, that it is possible with a conscious effort, with a genuine spirit to truly uplift our people. Indeed, we can make a difference. I believe that a well-organized CPP is capable of winning seats in many constituencies. A well-organized CPP is able to kind of lead public discourse on the things that really matter to Ghanaians, the things that actually affect our livelihoods, like access to good health care and education, access to better housing. In fact, one of the big things going on today is that more and more, there exists this huge housing deficit, and many of our people are left to live in very substandard housing. It is up to a group of us, conscious and ready to take up the mantle, to look deep within ourselves, to look at how we can find workable solutions together with our communities. I firmly believe that a CPP government is possible. In the Fourth Republic, the CPP has not had a chance to have vibrant leadership at the helm. We have not had a national chairman who has led the party for 2 consecutive terms. The national chairmanship has been a sort of a retirement plan for most of our comrades. Today I stand before you as a young man in my prime, seeking to lead the CPP, not just for 1 term, but for at least 2 terms, seeking to establish our party as a viable force in our political system. I think by way of introduction, this is my simple message to my comrades and to the rest of Ghana. Thank you.
Comrades, it's now time to listen to the message of Comrade Nana Odro Kwating, a contestant for the position of National Chairman of the Convention People's Party. Comrade Nana Odro Kwating.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, the good people of Ghana and the delegates of the Convention People's Party. I stand before you today to ask you to give me your votes on Saturday, 22nd August, for me to work with you to transform the Convention People's Party, whose political fortunes are dwindling. And to do that, I brought my membership card, and I want to pledge that I will promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to the Convention People's Party all the time. I also pledge to be dedicated and committed to work with all manner of people within the party and also as well to make the Convention People's Party attractive, viable, and relevant in Ghana's socio-political economic development. Now, who is Nana Oduro Kwati? I am a die-in-the-wool CPPist, Nkrumahist, or repentant socialist. I have been in the politics of this country since 1975. Throughout my student days, we have worked to fight against dictatorship in this country. I have also worked with various movements, pressure groups, to make sure we get voice for the voiceless. Now, the Convention People's Party is the political vanguard of the masses of this country. We gave the glorious independence to this country in 1957. Now, the Convention People's Party has gone through so many changes. In 1966, 24 February, the Convention People's Government, led by Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, was overthrown illegally. And it was banned. In fact, it was illegal for anybody to use Nkrumah's picture or any paraphernalia of the Convention People's Party, and you will be arrested and detained. So some of us, we have been battling to make sure that the CPP comes back again. And we did that through the student movement. And in 1979, when the June 4th movement happened, I was part of the political activist in the June 4th movement. And then, after the June 4th movement, I also became a member of the Movement of National Affairs, MONAS, which was a Wachijan's faction battling against the June 4th movement, which is the Rawlings faction. Unfortunately, we were defending the democratic constitutional legality of the PNP, which is the offspring of the Convention People's Party led by Liman. The 5th December, again, another CPP government was overthrown. I have to say that I was one of those people who fought against the illegality of the PADC regime in 31st December. I was arrested, detained, and tortured by the Rawlings regime. After my release, I fled to exile in the United Kingdom. When I went to the United Kingdom, between 1987 to 1992, I was one of the major leading members of the opposition to the PNDC. A group of opposition groups came together to form the Democratic Alliance of Ghana, which I was made the chairman. Our job basically was to work to expose and oppose and dethrone the PNDC regime. And we did a lot of work working with various groups inside and outside the country to bring democratic rule in 1992. In 1992, when the ban of party politics was lifted, I was also involved in the various splinter CPP groups to come up with a party, and I was a founding member of the People's Convention Party, the PCP, and became the vice chairman of the United Kingdom Ireland branch, and also later became the chairman. So I have the pedigree. I have the political experience that is required to lead a party like CPP. I have other 3 contestants who are also vying for that position. And delegates, comrades, compare my profile and my experience with all the 3. And there's no doubt that I stand tall. I have been involved in this politics for a long time. I'm a committed socialist, a committed Nkrumahist, and a committed CPPist. And I want to serve this party. I want to serve this party simply because the CPP political fortunes are dwindling. You don't need anybody to tell you how bad this party is. In Ghana, when we are talking about politics, the CPP name does not even feature. We have become irrelevant, we are not attractive, and we have even lost our constituency. Now, somebody will say, there are 2 political parties in Ghana, why don't you join one? But of course, the CPP is different. But how different it is? Because our former leaders who have led this party have never come out completely to be able to own to their constituencies. And the CPP seems to be dovetailing in terms of what the NPP and NDC is doing. The time has come to have a leader that will rebuild the CPP, reactivate the structures to make the CPP an alternative to the NPP and NDC. We are not a third force. We are going to be the alternative. And how do you do that? At the moment, we don't have any structures. Our structures from the grassroots is non-existent. We've gone around. The constituencies don't have resources, logistics to do it. And all we have a leadership which pride itself to live in Accra here and promote themselves and think that we have a political party. The time has come, delegates, that the status quo cannot remain. On Saturday, we have a rare opportunity to change the status quo. The current leadership does not deserve to be in position for even 1 single second. They must go, so that we have a major transformation of the CPP, a CPP that actually knows its constituency. Our ideology, we are clear in terms of ideology. In Ghana here, we have those who have and those who do not have. And the CPP are on the side of those who do not have. We are a socialist party, believe in the welfare of our people, and our ideology says every citizen, regardless of your tribe, regardless of your religion, regardless of your creed, regardless of your social standing, you must have equal opportunity to the resources of this country. But what do we see in CPP now? There are a lot of discourse. We just have a mid-year budget review. What is the CPP's position? Zilch. There was discussion as to whether we should have a new voters register. What is the CPP position? Zilch. And we have a leadership that sits in Accra here and do press statements, press conferences. This is not the CPP. We brought positive action into this country, led by our indefatigable Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, that we want independence now. How come that the CPP have become so docile? The CPP today is a shadow of its own self. The time has come that we wake up, we organize the CPP from the grassroots to make sure that the people of this great country will be able to have a voice and to improve the quality of life of our people. So I want to offer myself as a servant leader, very committed, dedicated to the ideals of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I have Nkrumah's vision, and you can trust me. I am a bona fide, committed, experienced politician, whether I die in the wool in CPP, and I want to lead this party to transform the lives of our people. Comrades, what we are now, the situation we have here, we are at the crossroads. The CPP is searching for its soul, and we don't have the time to be experimenting with anybody. My younger comrade, Kuku Kwanza, I salute him. Very dynamic, very good ideas. But has he got the pedigree? Has he got the pedigree to be able to lead this party? My answer is that I don't think he is. The other two constituencies we have, and that to Ibrahim, Hajia, and Oba Ima Frimpoma. Let's compare their profile, let's compare their experiences. I stand before you as an expert in public administration. I stand before you as an expert in strategic management. I stand before you as an expert in public economics. I stand before you as an experienced gender mainstreaming, gender equality expert. I stand before you as a practitioner of local government systems in this country and in Europe. And throughout my life, I have worked very hard to acquire the qualifications that required me to be able to work and lead this party. Currently, I'm an adjunct professor at GIMPA. GIMPA brought me into this country in 2006 to come and transform GIMPA, and I teach people to organize and arrange their governance system. I teach people in public economics. I teach organization in local governance systems. That is my pedigree. And I will bring this experience to bear in the leadership for us to transform the CPP structure. The CPP as it stands is in comatose, and we have to wake it up with some kind of political drips to give its energy to work. And I'm prepared to do that. We are going to work very, very hard We are going to do practical things like, first and foremost, I agree with my comrade Kokukwansa. We need to look at the welfare of our comrades. If you go, we have gone round and our members are demoralized. Today, if you say you are a CPP person, people laugh at you. Going around to ask for people to support us here and there. So why are you wasting your time with the CPP? The reality is that the CPP do not have structures on the ground. And we cannot pretend that if you want to build a house, you don't have to have a foundation. The CPP has a grassroots level. We know our constituency. Our constituency is about those who are vulnerable, who are oppressed, who have been disenfranchised, and we should be linking well. We, with the CPP, were coterminous with the Trade Union Congress. Where is the leadership of this party and their relationship with the Trade Union Congress? The working people of this country, our people are walking the street aimlessly, and the CPP is found wanting, not representing them. I pledge my commitment, dedication to work with all of you to be able to change the status quo and bring CPP alive. That is my message. Delegates, we are not joking. This is a real soul searching. And I urge you, in humbly appeal with you, that come Saturday, give me your support, and I will not let you down. Please, please, the time has come for the cock to crow again. And I urge all of you, on Saturday, come on your numbers and give me massive vote so that we can transform the CPP. The CPP cannot be the way it is. Those who are in the leadership 4 years ago, they came to you and asked you to give them your mandate. 4 years now, what have they done with this party? This party, its fortunes are dwindling. In 2004, we had 100,000 votes in the popular vote. In 2016, we have 25,000. And that's the kind of leadership you want to keep. They need to be kicked out and bring in me and a new team to transform the CPP. I will never let you down. And I promise you that CPP will rise up again and the cock will crow. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for the two comrades. Well, comrades and friends, that's the first round. The two candidates, the two aspirants for the position of National Chairman of the Convention People's Party have told us who they are, what they plan for the party, what they can do, and Nano Kwati has gone to the extent of even talking about what others cannot do. So this is the opening salvo. We are now getting ready for mass participation in this discussion. And I'd like us to start from the studio. The people in the studio, if you have a question, if you have a comment, whatever, please raise it so that the two gentlemen can respond to your questions and your comments. I'd like to set the ball rolling by asking a very, very simple question which is on the lips of all Nkrumahs. The current government is busily dismantling Ghana's history and seeking to make Nkrumah and the CPP irrelevant, to the extent that even the Republican Day has been reduced to a commemorative day rather than a public holiday. Nkrumah's birthday, which has been celebrated for many years as the Founders' Day, has now been also reduced to Kwame Nkrumah Day and so on. What is it that the CPP can do so that our true history will be told, so that our true history will become a guide to action of all the peoples of this country who aspire for development and so on? So that's my first question. I see that Kwame, I see Justice. Anybody else the question? I see her. Anybody else? So we'll take the first three rounds, three questions, and then we'll see what to do. So Kwame, Justice, and you, in that order.
Thank you very, very much, comrades. And I must say that the first round is very interesting. My question goes to the both of you. And I think that you have been very eloquent with your delivery as regards what you stand for and how you can revive the CPP. In your submissions, you spoke about reorganization and building the party from ground up. That would mean a lot of resources. That would mean going to the nook and cranny of this nation. That would mean investing a lot of your time, your energy, and your effort into ensuring that that reorganization happens. How do you intend to do that? How are you going to ensure that you mobilize the very people that you're talking about, the marginalized in society, the youth, those who have lost hope in the duopoly that we've experienced over the last maybe 2 decades? How are you going to ensure that you mobilize these people to buy into the concept of enchromism for the benefit of the party, and to ensure that going forward we will be able to win any future elections? That is one. Two, we also do know that the kind of political practices we have now is characterized by monocracy, particularly when it has to do with elections and people vying for specific positions. The last party elections that were held by both the NDC and the MPP, we know what happened. I mean, we saw it in the news, people spoke about it and things like that. We saw how people spent the taxpayers' money just on primaries. How different is the CPP in this regard? And if it is the same, why should anybody choose the CPP if it is not going to prove itself as the alternative, as opposed to one that is in bed with the ideas and ideals of this duopoly? Thank you.
All right, thank you. My question is, it does appear that the current state of CPP isn't one that people will expect that the CPP wins an election in the upcoming elections or going forward. How do you intend to put the CPP together in order to win elections in the country? Also, we are all aware that there have been CPP members who defected to various political parties in this country. Others left the CPP to form their own parties. How are you going to bring such persons back into the CPP to make it a formidable one to once again win an elections in the country? Thank you.
All right. My first question is, I think both of you are on the same page when it comes to the party not being poised for power, or a party that is that represents a political vanguard of the masses, and it's because tangibly the masses haven't experienced anything of that sort. So how are you going to change the narrative? Should you be given the nod? And the follow-up to Kwame's question, how are you going to fund the grassroots structuring and the permanent structures you intend to put in place? And the last one, how are you going to make the CPP survive, or help the CPP survive in contemporary global capitalist or socio-political economy? These are my questions, and it goes to both.
First, we have Comrade Nana Udro-Kwarteng deal with the issues, and then he'll be followed by Comrade Kuku Kwansa.
I think we'll deal with Mr. Pratt's first question. That it appears that the current government is trying to rewrite our history, and that changed the public holidays, one which has been hurt. Any true patriot, any true Ghanaian, is changing the 1st July Republic Day to a commemorative one. The 1st of July represents a milestone, a historical epoch, at a time where, after independence, the Queen of England was still the head of state of Ghana. So a referendum was done, And the people of this country decided that they want to end that relationship. So we became a republic, which means that we owe no allegiance to England. For some strange reason, typical of MPP, which is antecedents of the UP, LLM, they want to rewrite the history, and they just basically made a community one. Even the Founders' Day, the Kwame Nkrumah, everybody knows the role that Kwame Nkrumah played. They even said that they did the independence work, everything. They cooked, the food was ready. He came and then chopped, and then he wiped his mouth neat, and then he want to claim, so they have to change the narrative to say that there are founders instead of founder. No matter how they try, this will not work. Unfortunately, the Convention People's Party has kept quiet about this. Under our leadership, we have become so docile, and this is happening. If the people of the party, the delegates, vote for me on 22nd August, we will change the narrative. I am a militant socialist, CPPs. We will do a vigil, we will protest, we will work with other civil society organizations who share our concerns to draw the matter home to the government that enough is enough, and expose, their chicanery and their deceit of trying to rewrite this history of our great country. Let me also deal with the issue about how we'll be able to build a party from the grassroots. How will we be able to win people's hearts and minds? It's going to be very hard work. The reality is that the CPP at the moment is not attractive. We've gone around the country talking to delegates, asking them they should share our vision here and there. We need to rebuild, reactivate our structures. How are we going to do that? We are currently having, under the current leadership, that a political party, the CPP, Nkrumah's party, people are meeting under the trees. We don't even have a place for people to meet. People are meeting in people's homes. There are no, party offices, and so on and so forth. How do you build a political party like that? Just as I said, you cannot build a house without a strong foundation. The CPP is a grassroots organization. It is the political vanguard of the masses of this country. But somehow, our leadership have lost the cause. And that's why they don't deserve to be in power anymore. Under my leadership, we are going to work within the current structure. We are going to look at our members in terms of their welfare. We are going to first and foremost try and mobilize funds. One of the first things I pledge to do is to do a homecoming, and a homecoming session for all CPPs who parents or who fathers and mothers or who families have any association with the CPP to come back. We will do a fundraising. The people who are belonging to CPP that have left, we plead with them to come together, including even the current president. He used to be a CPP person when he was in Lagos. We invite him as part of homecoming. He should come home and help us to build a party that he used to be with it. I know you will not come, but we'll go to the Plaster House or Jubilee House to embarrass him. That come, tell your people that this your party is coming back. So there's a lot of people, like the Kojobo's children, like the Bedembe's children, leading members of our party, have children who are well-to-do or who are sitting on the fence. We'll bring them home, and we'll be raising funds to be able to build a party from the grassroots. We'll also be looking in terms of, first and foremost, taking stock in terms of some of the assets. A lot of people don't know, but let me tell you, after 1966, CPP's assets were seized, were confiscated, and these assets were built by the toil and sweat of our members. Example is the Information Ministry, Ministry of Information. The building belongs to CPP. That's the CPP headquarters. You go to Ashanti region, there are buildings there. You go to Sunyani, the police headquarters belongs to, it was the CPP. These are properties that belong to us. We will go to at the length to go to Supreme Court to ask the government to return our assets, or give us the equivalent in terms of from 1966 up to 2020, the equivalent in terms of the interest rates and everything, for us to get some compensation. And that will be some of the things that we'll be doing to raise money to build this party. We are not going to allow any government, to take the property from this party. So these are some of the things. We also have goodwill and political capital, from organizations and individuals who will be approaching them to be able to, build this party. So we're going to do a lot of work. You know, and we know, as Kwame asked, that there is monetics. In Ghana now, it is not politics, it's monetics. If you don't have money, you cannot organize anything. But we will be looking to do a lot of fundraising, a lot of sponsorship to be able to build this party. The constitution of the CPP stipulates clearly that by 30th September, the party should have a budgeted based activity presented to the Central Committee to discuss in terms of what you are going to do with it. I have checked from the regional chairman for almost about up to time, about 20 years now. No, the party has not been able to prepare a budget for activities. How do you then be able to run the party? I am saying that this current leadership do not have to stay on 1 second. They should go so that we will come and revive this party based on our ideology, based on our ability to be able to mobilize the people. We need to read hearts and minds. How will we ask people who are in the MPP and NDC to join us? We need to be able to make sure that the CPP is very active on the ground in terms of activities. We are going to reactivate the Young Pioneer Scheme on Nkrumah's Farm Day activities. Every constituency will come with a program through the regional secretariat, which will be submitted to the the Central Committee and discuss. And we will be able to find money resources to be able to do that. The CPP with the 12 calendar month activity must be seen to be active. At the moment, there's no activity, there's no plan. You know, at best, a statement is issued in a very tense way, and so on and so forth. We also be working with organized labor. You know, they are co-terminals with us in terms of our founding members. We will start even working with the industrial and workers' organization within factories near Rende to give them the support. We will also be working with the Association of Ghana Industries. After all, they are one of us. You know, the mess that the current government and then this government has put our local business in, the CPP will send a signal that we are with them. So there's quite a lot of work that we need to be doing. And it requires somebody like me with a kind of pedigree, with experience, with a commitment to be able to come and transform this party and making sure that our political fortunes have actually, you know, been improved. There's also another important thing that we need to be doing. We need to be very, very clear in terms of where we stand. There is MPP NDC. Where does the CPP stand? What is the ideology? Someone asked that in a capitalist country, a capitalist world, global finance capital, how are we going to be able to encourage people to abide into that? We are a socialist. We will be able to prove to the world that we will the state-led economy that the Kwame Nkrumah did, or the state-led economy that Singapore did, the state-led economy that Japan, China have been doing, is an example that we can also do. People here talked about themselves, you know, that they are capitalists. Capitalists without no capital. You cannot go to IMF, World Bank, or get foreign direct investment and give it to your friends and cronies and say, if you're a capitalist, go and find your capital. Go and find your capital. We have people here, the NPP said here, now they don't even talk about it. Property only, democracy. Golden age of business. So now all the things that they are doing is that if you ask the NPP what is their performance, they will tell you about social intervention, you know, free SHS, metro mass transport, national health insurance. They say they are capitalists. Look at the mess they have caused to the private sector in this country. You go to Aboso and call them. Let the MPP, we are serving MPP and DC notice that we are coming after them. They have stolen our clothes and we are going to take. They have no business about social intervention. We are socialist intervention practitioners. This is our forte. We are going to develop this country based on that, on our principle that every citizen, regardless of your religion, of your tribe, of your clan, you are entitled to equal opportunities. What does the CPP stand for? We stand for self-determination. We have every right to decide which way to go, whether we want to be capitalist or socialist. It is our right to do that. We also believe in social justice and equal opportunity. And above all, we believe in Pan-Africanism. We believe that, you know, the colonial, you know, balkanization of Africa is something that we should fight for, and that we should be able to trade among ourselves, either in West Africa, in Africa, and it's within our right. That is what the CPP stands for. So we are not delegates. We are not joking. We are at the crossroads. We, the CPP, is searching for issue. We have to be different to MPP and NDC. We cannot follow the duopoly. Why can the CPP government be following about World Bank and IMF? You tell me, Ghanaian, tell me which country that IMF, World Bank have gone, that the country has survived. And yet our people have mortgaged our property, our life. Today in Ghana, our mines, our natural resources is being taken away daily by foreign companies. And what does the CPP say about this? Today, we have telecoms who have come here, foreign companies. There's not a single Ghanaian company in telecommunication industry or in a mining company. The gold that they are taking for our country, we only get 1.7% from revenue. We don't even know how much is being taken away. We have got, what do you call it, oil, 30.5% that we get. And what does the CPP, the current CPP position on it? Nil. And that is not CPP. Under my leadership, we will challenge the real government in terms of their policy. We will have shadow cabinet who will make statements and also give alternative solutions to our problems. We have the pedigree, we have the people that are waiting for us to take over this party and transform the fortunes of this party. And I pledge all of you, I want to tell you that the new leadership on the CPP will be different and will be the alternative to what we are having. I will come back if there's one question to do, but let me tell you this. The CPP cannot allow to die like this. It's a shame that we have sat down idly by watching this CPP dying, and all we have is that we have a central committee, we have a leadership which pride itself moving from radio station and TV station here and there. It cannot work. We need to change it. And I'm telling you, the delegates, don't give them even 1 second to stay on. They kick them out and bring Odro Kwating leadership of the CPP back on track, and the CPP will be representing the masses and also provide alternative to the duopoly in this country. Thank you very much.
Comrades and friends, I guess to answer Comrade Pratt's question about the seeming revisionism in our Ghanaian history, I think I would like to simply say there's an old adage that goes, to the victor goes the spoils. You know, if you go into a battle and you win, you get to determine, you get to tell your own history. So my remedy is to borrow the words of Kwame Nkrumah, you know, almost a remix to the Bible, when he says, "Seek ye first the political kingdom, and all others shall be added." I think there is pressure on us, the youth of this country, to take up the commanding heights of our country. For us to be able to see a way forward, some of us have to step up, regardless of the intimidation of you know, the posturings of our elders, regardless of the monetization of our politics. We have to step up. We have to be heard. What I'm happy to report, as I've moved across the country, and indeed, especially over the last few days, it has been a really grueling process. And many that know me in my typically very articulate and energetic form can notice how fatigued I am as I stand before you, how tired I am as I stand before you. I'm happy to report that there are comrades in our communities all across the country working very, very hard for the CPP. I'm happy to report that there are comrades who sacrifice for the CPP in their various communities. I'm happy to report that when you go out in the communities, you find people who have built structures with their own funds for the CPP. Some may be halfway done, some may be in need of repair, but there are people who are making an effort in our communities. I believe in a leadership that connects with the pains, the gains of the people in the grassroots. If we talk about money, there is money in the grassroots. With our little experiment with Fresh Start Farms, we have discovered that as I sit here in Accra, dispossessed of land, we have comrades who own acres and acres and acres of land, but yet cannot plow their fields. An acre of land in the hinterlands costs 100 cedis to plow. Some of us sit in Accra looking for land, a piece of land, and have to spend thousands of Ghana cedis to buy half plot or a plot of land. Meanwhile, we have comrades out there who have acres and acres of land. It is about connection. It's about how those of us that have been given a sort of privilege because of our class can connect with the broader masses. It's about how we can find local solutions. Comrades, I will tell you that no one constituency in Ghana is homogeneous, it's the same. There are dynamics on the ground that we can take advantage of as a political party. There are places today in Ghana in the 2020 election, there are seats that we can win. There are a few that we have identified and we are pushing with all our might to make sure that in 2020 we can win those seats. That is the beginning point, the starting point of politics, of die-hard politics, is inspiration. What I seek to do is to inspire not only the youth of my party, but the youth of Ghana to step up and take up the mantle when time and chance provides it. Comrades, I will not be intimidated. Comrades, I am emboldened and I am proud to represent the hard-working comrades across the country. Comrades, as a chairman, I will not sit in a chair. I will stand with you in your constituencies. I am an architect. I build. I will rebuild CPP from the ground up. I will stand in your communities so that brick by brick we will put the house that Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah left behind together. Comrades, indeed, as my father said, we are at a crossroads. And now ask yourself, which paths are we being presented with? Of course, we have the status quo. But more importantly, it is a generational baton that needs to be passed on in the CPP. For the CPP to be kicked back to life, a certain generation has to let go of the grips of the reins of this party to the next. Comrades, this process of rebuilding the CPP will take a great deal of physical strength, a great deal of mobility. And that is why, with the wise counsel of elders, the youth must take the commanding heights of the party. As far as resources, what I have experienced in my campaign is that to be able to affect people is much bigger than money. To be able to affect people, people place their immediate needs for money in the background. Our people are starving for inspiration. They are starving for a way for them to be able to help themselves. We've given in for far too long to political patronage, where someone shows up and says, I am your Messiah. I will rescue you from something. Comrades, what I'm trying to inspire all our comrades across the country is that we can inspire ourselves to improve our livelihoods. It is a matter of dignity. Why did we refuse colonialism? Because colonialism struck at the dignity and soul of the black man. And when we say the black man is capable of handling his own affairs, we're talking about dignity. We're talking about how, as we have hands and feet, how we want to provide for ourselves. Comrades, I'm not standing here as someone who says I will make everything better with a magic wand. I am saying that I will stand with you and I will work with you. In addressing capitalism and our world construct, I think that we can start by brightening our little corner. We can start by showing the world what a CPP government looks like within our party structure. We can start by attracting professionals, attracting businesses, attracting indigenous Ghanaian businesses to see the value in placing some of their resources in a party like CPP. to see how we can be an advocate for indigenous businesses, to see how we can be an advocate for the working peoples, to improve their wages and give them fair wages for work done. For far too long, Ghanaians have lived in a state where we always look up to a big man. We always look up to someone who's larger than life. You have masses, thousands of people working for one man who has built mansions, etc., etc., while workers wallow in poverty. The aspirations of Ghanaians must be met, and it is up to us to seek those aspirations, to actively work towards those aspirations. I think that for me, throughout this campaign, when it comes to making speeches, most of my speeches have been very terse. I've been very pensive. I've thought more and spoken less, simply because I have tried to observe and soak in what I see and hear in our communities all across the country. I think that a CPP government is possible because I see it in the lives of the people who are working for the CPP in our communities. When we speak about how dismal and how comatose the party is in the eyes of Ghanaians, and yet you find people still showing up to CPP meetings, people in Binduri and Tolon who stay up till 11 p.m. and stay up to hear me speak. Comrades, I'm so humbled and near speechless at the love that you have shown me in your various communities. And my simple pledge is to gun for you, to be the man in your communities working to put the CPP together. Thank you very much.
Well, comrades, the messages are pouring in. And we are going to read the WhatsApp messages. And after that, the comrades will respond to these messages before we go to Facebook. The first message on WhatsApp is from a gentleman called Godwin. Godwin from Ho. Godwin from Ho has sent the first WhatsApp message. And Godwin says, I like the program. The debate is good, but I suggest you begin to show history and activities of Kwame Nkrumah for the youth to know more about the Convention People's Party. I humbly suggest that the CPP should engage the youth in farming, artisanship, elect branch executives across the country, and empower them to grow the Convention People's Party at the grassroots. And this is from Godwin from Ho. Then we have this message. This message is from Janda. It says, my worries about Nkrumah's parties is their inability to come together to move the family of all the parties under Nkrumahist. If APC, PNC, CPP, GUM, PPP can team up with each other under one leadership, we, the masses, can take the party serious, and that can help the party to victory. This is my opinion, and this is the opinion of Janda. This one says, and this one is from Jerry, from Chairman Jerry, and it says, very impressive performance by the comrades. Very impressive performance by the comrades. This one simply says, please display the names of the contributors. I think we've displayed the names of all those who are involved in this. This one says, I really love this program. God bless our motherland, Ghana. Please, I'll be glad to join the CPP and support my country. I am Ahimfo from Sunyani. Ahimfo from Sunyani. The same message from Ahimfu from Sunyani has been repeated. This is from Godwin from Ho. He says, I like your program, the debate is very good, and I suggest that you engage the youth. Godwin from Ho. There are so many messages, and the messages are beginning to get mixed up. This one says, wow, Comrade Odro, you are on fire. You speak like Dr. Nkrumah. Why have you waited till now? Good luck in the upcoming elections. And it's from Fosu David, a Sunafo South Constituency Secretary of the CPP. And then he sends another message. He says, Comrade Kwanzaa, you did not come to Ahafo region. Why? Or is it because you don't need our vote? There are so many messages. And they get mixed up, you know. This one says, our incoming national chairman, Nana Odro Kwati, we need you. Victory is yours on Saturday from Razak from Bono East region. The same person sends another message, says, CPP needs someone who is honest, knowledgeable, academician, resourceful, strategic, and courageous to lead us. And it is no other person than Nana Odro Kwati, the incoming national chairman. Victory is yours, inshallah, and it's from Razak from Kintampo. Razak from Kintampo sends this message. Oh my goodness. This one says, please, I'm suggesting that the CPP should... Oh, I'll read it nonetheless. It says, please, I'm suggesting that the CPP should join forces with NDC so that we can push this MPP away. MPP is disturbing us in Ghana, stealing our money, and many atrocities are being committed in the country. Please seriously consider my request. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you and God bless you. This one says, please, I would like to know how both aspirants are going to mobilize funds for the rebuilding of the party. This one says, good evening. I'm really enjoying the program. The little voice that I can also add to this program is, Dr. Nkrumah demonstrated that we are capable and had a big vision. That was why he constructed the Akosombo Dam and realized that Kitikrachi, an important town, has been made an island. So the town deserves an airstrip which can be developed gradually into an airport. That is leadership. But the day Nkrumah decided not to have a vice president and to hold on to power to an undefined date was the day he breached his own claim that we are capable of managing our own affairs. But all is not lost yet. CPP must re-strategize. Victory will surely come. Thank you. Candid is my name from Koforidua. This is from Candid in Koforidua. Candid in Koforidua. This is, there's something about church and Jesus Christ and all of that, and I'm not sure what to do with that. This one says, hi, this debate is a very good one. Come 22nd August 2020, and we would elect the best aspirant. It's from Aaron from Inside Who. Aaron from Inside Who sends that message. This is a lot of messages. One person has sent 3 messages. So, good evening. I would like to say I want a leader who can connect the grassroots, put up party offices, continue to work hard even after the December polls. Make sure there's a serious networking among the executives, that is, national, regional, constituency, and branches. Also, our tertiary institutions try to build youth in skills and prepare them towards general elections. This is from Frank Darlington from the Ashema constituency, the secretary to the Ashema constituency. He writes again, I'm really enjoying listening to my aspirants, and I believe they will deliver when they are given the chance to serve our beloved party. Forward ever, backward never. The same person writes again, says, refreshing to listen to Nana Udro, win for Nana Udro, and treat all delegates to go for Nana Udro as our national chairperson. This is from the United States of America. It's from a guy called Cote from Minnesota, USA. Great presentation. The CPP is still alive. Any plans for us Ghanaians in the diaspora, we are willing to join in the struggle. We are willing to join in the struggle. This one says, hello, everything is good. Good to hear from the CPP. We cannot compare CPP's achievements to any political party in Ghana. How sure are we that these candidates are not campaigning for their selfish interests? And this is from Yao in Accra. Yao in Accra. This one says, good evening, my people. Please, I like the way the comments that are being made now. Please engage the youth in the universities and colleges to build your party. Please, how can I join your party, please? And this is from Asante from Soweto. Asante from Soweto. Wow. This one is from Evans from Nungwa. Evans from Nungwa. He says, good evening. I'm blessed to witness this program. I'll be glad if the CPP will wake up from its current stage and save Mother Ghana from this frustration. God bless the CPP. God bless Ghana. From Evans from Nungwa. This one says, I really love this program. God bless our motherland, Ghana. Please, I'll be glad to join the CPP and support my country. I'm a Himfo from Sunyani. And it says, please, I'm here again. I'm just a young boy. NDC and MPP leaders can't help us, but rather they take us to hell. This one says, Comrade Odro has won our heart, and we, the people of the Upper West region, will vote for him, regional organizer. Maybe he's the regional organizer in the Upper West region. I don't know what that means. Wow. Well, I'm reading them. If I find them, I'll read them. This is 17 messages from one person. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to read all of that. 17 messages from one person. Wow. It says, good evening, Uncle Kwesi. Oh, my goodness. Good evening, Uncle Kwesi. I love your show. Let us all gather a lot of people so that the CPP can win back power again. I love CPP. Nanayao from Ashongma Estates. Nana, I've seen so many messages from you. You know. This one simply says, good evening. This is from Honorable Abdul Razak Nuhu from Edujamain. And it says, comrades, I like the program. It's very inspiring. This one simply says, hi.